So Cheryl Reeve has been suspended.
What's happening, guys? It's your channel, TFD, here again with a major story you cannot want to miss. Okay, here's the skinny. Reports out of Phoenix say that Napheesa Collier could be done for the season, but that is not even the wildest. Cheryl Reeve, the head coach, seemingly lost control, swore at Phoenix Mercury fans, and nearly went after a WNBA official. Yeah, you heard that correctly. This is breaking news, people, and this story is still developing. So hang on tight. We are going deep down to Phoenix to analyze this. Let's do it. But this Phoenix-Minnesota game, oh my, it was insane. If Napheesa Collier is truly hurt, it is game over for Minnesota. That is the final nail in the coffin there. No mincing words. They are in serious trouble. I am just being straight with all of you. But I'll tell you what, the stubs, yup, the bench players came to play tonight. They were going off, looking sharp, looking in sync, and having a serious impact. But the main headline of the night, Alyssa Thomas, Collier, and Cheryl Reeve, that is the story everybody's talking about. Before I get fully into it, let me just toss this out there. If Phoenix manages to beat Minnesota, and we'll say they do, then consider this. Indiana might beat Las Vegas if Caitlin Clark is playing. They might beat Phoenix too if Caitlin is playing. Which brings up a huge question. Are the front office and the coaches possibly risking a championship win over some drama with Caitlin Clark? Whatever the logic is, it's insane. And yes, that is a topic for a different video. Now returning to the drama, Twitter is exploding right now. I'm talking explosive. When I saw this live, Alyssa Thomas had a massive game. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Collier Copper popped off with 21 points from three-point range. Sadie Chablis played amazingly. Truly, I still think we should have grabbed her, but the subs came out and showed their worth. Natisha Heedman gave a totally stellar performance too. The two of them delivered tonight. This game had everything: drama, pain, big plays, and total chaos. Phoenix is really playing with fire. Minnesota's season is iffy. If Collier is out and Cheryl Reeve, well, you could say she made it clear to all that she was not pleased. Friends, we are going to be discussing this for a while. I will be keeping you posted as this all develops because believe me, you do not want to miss what comes next. Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve unloads on WNBA refs after Napheesa Collier is hurt in a playoff loss. A livid Minnesota coach, Cheryl Reeve, lost her composure and perhaps her top player in just a few seconds of the Lynx's 84-76 defeat to the Phoenix Mercury on Friday in Game 3 of the WNBA playoff semifinals. The number 1 seed Lynx are now in a 2-1 deficit in the best-of-5 series with Game 4 set for Sunday in Phoenix. Reeve was tossed after receiving her second technical foul in the last minute. The specific play that enraged her was when Alyssa Thomas took the ball from Napheesa Collier by the three-point line and ran down to the other end of the court for the game-clinching layup. Collier hurt her leg on that play and needed help to the locker room. Reeve mentioned that Collier probably has a fracture, but did not elaborate on the specific injury. Collier is a 5-time All-Star who put up 22.9 points per game in the regular season. She had scored 17 points on Friday before getting hurt. When you permit the physicality, people get injured. There's brawls, and this is the image that our league desires for some reason, Reeve stated. We were attempting to play through it, attempting to not make excuses. The Mercury were called for 15 fouls on Friday, while the Lynx had 14 fouls called on them. The Mercury shot more free throws, having a 22-11 edge. Reeve accepted no questions after this loss, launching into a 2-minute tirade on the officiating. She demanded that the WNBA make changes at the top level regarding officiating and then aimed her anger at the 3 referees on the court. Friday, Isaac Barnett, Randy Richardson, and Jenna Renaud, the officiating crew that was here tonight, for the leadership to consider those 3 people's semifinals playoff worthy is expletive malpractice, Reeve said.
And we talked about how dangerous it can be. You're hearing it from the other series. You're hearing other coaches. You're hearing Becky talk about when you let the physicality happen, people get hurt. There's fights. And this is the look that our league wants for some reason. We were trying to play through it. We were trying to make excuses. One of the best players in the league shot 0 free throws. 0, and she had 5 fouls. 0 free throws. Had her shoulder pulled out and finished the game with her leg being taken out, and probably has a fracture. And so this is what our league wants. Okay. But I want to call for a change of leadership at the league level when it comes to officiating. It's bad for the game. The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those 3 people semifinals playoff worthy is fucking malpractice. I can take it now with the best of them. I don't think we should have to play through more than what they did. They got players, Masha's on the glass, and gets fucking cracked. And there's no call. And all of them said, it wasn't my call. I don't know. I didn't see it that way. They're fucking awful.
Yeah, I mean, just our mindset, right? This is a team that believes in each other. Been overlooked a little bit all year. But the one thing that we are is, we are tough, and we'll fight and compete, and we did that in the fourth. It made it hard for them on every possession, and that's what good defensive teams do. We haven't talked about the officiating all playoffs. We just play. We're worried about us.
I mean, you kind of said a preparation, knowing, I feel like she's a routine player that really gets her spots in an elite way. And you have to shut that down because she has her, 50, 40, 90 season. Like, that is really big. That is hard to do. And to disrupt that, like, you have to be an elite defender. And this is what we have on a team. And this is really teamwork, really disrupting. We had a lot of tips on her too. So it's really team effort and just knowing where she wants to go. We started out the season, I think, ESPN, all of them, they ranked us really low. And to me, it's a disrespect towards those 2. They're gold medalists, they're all-stars, and to put that type of disrespect towards people who've literally been in the league for so long, Kyle's won a championship, like, that just fuels us. And we're the underdogs. We have something to prove to ourselves more than to others. And I think this is really what bonds us. And I can really say, like, I've had the most fun this year just by being motivated, coming to work, them motivating me. Like, they're not taking it easy on me and want me to get better. This is exactly what I came here for. So it's just such a nice feeling, and everyone brings it to the table. Like Sammy, with her energy, it just fuels you. When people tell you you're not good enough, like, don't back down. Just really believe in yourself, believe in the people around you, and keep your circle tight.
A war is tearing the WNBA apart, not from external pressure, but from an insurrection within its own ranks. This isn't a controversy manufactured by the media. It's a full-blown crisis ignited by the league's most respected coaches. They are now publicly condemning the WNBA's leadership, exposing a dangerous culture of unchecked physicality that has finally reached its breaking point. A single brutal play has pushed these powerful insiders to go on the record, signaling that the status quo is no longer acceptable. The tipping point arrived during a high-stakes playoff game between the Minnesota Lynx and Phoenix Mercury. In a critical moment, Lynx superstar Napheesa Collier, one of the league's premier talents, was on the receiving end of a steal attempt by Phoenix forward Alyssa Thomas. The play left Collier in a heap on the floor. Her season likely finished with what her coach believes is a fractured leg. Incredibly, no foul was called, as Thomas coasted for a game-sealing layup. The image of Collier in tears on the bench, and later leaving in a wheelchair, became the symbol of a problem that could no longer be ignored. The immediate aftermath saw Minnesota's iconic coach, Cheryl Reeve, erupt in a sideline inferno. She charged the court, unleashing a tirade at the officials, forcing her own players and staff to physically restrain and pull her away. Her ejection was swift, but it was clear this was more than just frustration over a bad call. It was the manifestation of a season's worth of anger over a league she felt was failing to protect its athletes. The true bombshell, however, was detonated in the post-game press conference. Reeve approached the microphone and, without prompting, launched a direct assault on the league's hierarchy. She stated unequivocally, "I want to call for a change of leadership at the league level when it comes to officiating." She then escalated her attack, labeling the league's choice to assign that officiating crew to a crucial playoff game as nothing short of, quote, "feeing malpractice." It was an unprecedented public indictment of her own league by one of its most legendary figures. Reeve's explosive comments didn't happen in a vacuum. They followed a dire warning issued just days prior by another of the WNBA's coaching titans, Becky Hammon of the Las Vegas Aces. Hammon had declared that the level of physicality in the playoffs was completely out of control. She noted that her coaching staff, many with NBA experience, were appalled at what is permitted in the WNBA, stating, "This would not fly in the NBA. There would be fights." This wasn't a lone voice of dissent anymore. It was a chorus. Two of the sport's most influential leaders were now making the exact same accusation. Let's be clear, both Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammon command teams that are celebrated for their aggressive, hard-nosed style of play. The hypocrisy seems obvious, yet it is this very fact that gives their protest its undeniable power. When the architects of the league's toughest teams are the ones sounding the alarm that the brutality has gone too far, the argument becomes impossible to ignore. This is beyond seeking a competitive edge. It is a desperate plea from the heart of the establishment to save the league from itself. This entire firestorm is burning against the backdrop of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. Throughout the season, as Clark was subjected to relentless and often dangerous physicality, the outcry from a new generation of fans was systematically dismissed. These complaints were written off as the whining of newcomers who didn't appreciate the toughness of the league. That defense has now crumbled. The warnings are no longer coming from the outside, they are being shouted from within by the WNBA's own royalty, validating every concern that was previously ignored and forcing the league office to face a reality it can no longer deny. The league finds itself at an undeniable crossroads, with an MVP-caliber player in Napheesa Collier suffering a catastrophic injury on a play that went unpunished, and its two most revered coaches in open rebellion. The WNBA is grappling with a self-inflicted wound. All eyes now turn to Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Will she finally act on the urgent warnings from her own legends and rein in the dangerous play that jeopardizes both her players and the league's explosive growth? Or will she ignore the mutiny from within and risk fracturing the very foundation of the sport's future?